I thought Courtney and I had the perfect marriage. We were high school sweethearts, the couple everyone looked up to. We built a life together, bought a house, and were even talking about starting a family. For 10 years, everything felt like a dream. But dreams have a funny way of turning into nightmares, don't they? It all started subtly. Courtney became more distant, glued to her phone, smiling at texts that weren't from me. She started having late nights at work and girls' nights out way more often. I tried to ignore the gnawing feeling in my gut. I trusted her. Why wouldn't I? She was my everything. The first real crack appeared on our anniversary. I had planned a romantic dinner at our favorite restaurant, the one where I proposed. She canceled at the last minute, saying a big project at work came up. I was disappointed, but I understood, or at least I tried to. I went home, and a few hours later, her friend Sarah called me, asking if Courtney was feeling better. I was confused, Sarah said. Courtney had told her she was sick and was canceling their weekly movie night. My heart sank.
What?
2 different stories to 2 different people. Something was very wrong. I couldn't shake the feeling of dread. The next day I did something I'm not proud of. I looked at our shared phone bill. There was one number texted and called hundreds of times, always late at night. A number I didn't recognize. My hands were shaking. I confronted her that evening, my voice barely a whisper. I asked her who the number belonged to. The color drained from her face. At first she denied everything, calling me paranoid and controlling. But when I showed her the phone bill, the dam broke. The truth came pouring out. His name was Mark, a coworker. It started as a friendship, she said, just harmless flirting, but it escalated. For the past 6 months, she had been living a double life. The late nights, the canceled plans, it was all for him. Every word she spoke was a knife twisting in my chest. I felt like the floor had dropped out from under me. 10 years of love and trust, shattered in a single moment. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. All I could see was her face, contorted with guilt, and all I could hear were her excuses. The strangest part was her reaction after the confession. After the tears and the apologies, a strange sort of calm settled over her. She seemed to think this was just a bump in the road. She said, "David, we can get through this. People make mistakes. We're stronger than this." She genuinely believed that I would just forgive and forget. She thought I was too dependent on her, too invested in our life together to ever actually leave. She saw me as predictable, safe, someone who would never rock the boat no matter how badly it was leaking. For a few days, I was in a fog. I moved into the guest room, walking around our home like a ghost. Courtney acted as if we were just having a small tiff. She'd make me coffee in the morning, ask about my day. She kept saying, "I know you're hurt, but we'll fix this. I'll end it with him. We just need time." It was her confidence that chilled me to the bone. She wasn't just hopeful, she was certain. She thought my love for her was a cage that would keep me there forever. She completely underestimated the depth of my pain and the strength of my self-respect.
Yes.
That's when the clarity hit me like a splash of ice-cold water. I looked at her one morning as she was casually talking about weekend plans, and I didn't see the woman I married. I saw a stranger who had betrayed me and expected me to just clean up the mess. I realized that staying wouldn't be a sign of strength or forgiveness. It would be an act of self-betrayal. I couldn't spend the rest of my life wondering if she was telling the truth, flinching every time her phone buzzed. I deserved more than that. I deserved honesty, respect, and a love that didn't come with conditions and secrets. That afternoon, I packed a bag. When Courtney came home from work, she found me in the living room, my suitcase by the door. The confident smile on her face faltered. "What are you doing, David?" she asked, a tremor in her voice. "I'm leaving, Courtney," I said, my voice steady for the first time in weeks. Her face crumpled. "Leaving? Do you mean leaving? You can't leave? We can fix this." She started crying, pleading, telling me how much she loved me and that it was all a terrible mistake, but this time her tears didn't move me. The look of pure shock on her face told me everything. She never, not for 1 second, thought I would actually walk away. She thought her affair was a mistake I would have to accept. She saw my kindness as weakness. She was wrong. Leaving her was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It meant leaving behind a decade of memories, a home we built, and a future I had planned. But staying would have meant leaving myself behind, and that was a price I was no longer willing to pay. It's been a year now. The divorce was finalized a few months ago. The healing process has been long and difficult, full of anger, sadness, and lonely nights. But with each passing day, I feel more like myself again. I've reconnected with old friends, focused on my career, and started rediscovering the hobbies I let slide. I learned that my identity wasn't tied to being her husband. I'm David, and I'm stronger than I ever thought. Courtney tried to reach out a few times, but I knew I had to maintain my distance to truly heal. I heard she and Mark didn't last. It turns out a relationship built on secrets doesn't have a very strong foundation.